Shalom Yeladim! Do you know that the first 2 nights of Pesach, we're going to have a special meal at our table? It's going to be very different than a Shabbos meal. Do you know why? It has a special name. It's called a Seder. Seder means order. Order. What's different about the first 2 nights of Pesach than any other Seudah that we have on Yom Tov? Whether it's Rosh Hashanah or Sukkot or Shavuot. Well, the difference is that on any of those times, if you chose to eat your dessert before your chicken, if your mommy let, then you could. But on the first 2 nights of Pesach, everyone has to do everything in the same order. And we all have the same 15 things to do. Wow, it's a long night with lots of fun and learning. So let's start talking about what those things are. We'll begin with Kadesh. Kadesh is Kiddush. Our Abba or our Ima will say Kiddush for all of us. Now, on Shabbos, usually our Abba or our Ima say Kiddush alone. In some families, on Pesach, we all say Kiddush together. And this is the first of the 4 cups of wine that we are going to drink on our Seder night. Next we have Orchatz. Orchatz is washing our hands. But don't get too excited. It's not time to wash our hands for motzi. We're not going to eat for a long, long time. This washing is a washing that is done without a bracha to prepare us for our karpas, which comes next. Our abbas are like kings and our imas like queens. Some of our children come and bring washing cups and basins and water and a towel to dry to our Abba and our Ima when everyone else goes to wash at the sink. Karpas. Karpas is we take a vegetable. It could be celery, it could be potato, it could be a radish, and it could be parsley. Any vegetable that we say borei peri hadzama on. And we take that vegetable and we dip it into salt water. Why do we dip it into salt water? Salt reminds us, salty water reminds us of the tears that the Jewish people cried when they were in Mitzrayim and they were working so very hard. Karpas also reminds us that tonight we are free. We have come out of Mitzrayim. How does it remind us that we're free? Because free people have a chance to have lots of sauces and dips. A poor person doesn't have ketchup and mustard to put their hot dog in. They eat their hot dog plain. But someone who is not a poor person, someone who is not a slave, a free person, is able to do dipping. And that's what we do during Karpas. A lot of times people use a green vegetable to remind us of the Chag HaAviv, that Pesach comes during the springtime of new beginnings. Next we have Yachatz. Yachatz is we take the middle matzah and we have 3 matzot on our table, but the middle one we take and we break it in 2. Now, if you look at my picture, you will see it's not in half. There's going to be a bigger side and a smaller side. The bigger side, we're going to put in a special bag that's marked afikomen to put away for later. That reminds us of people who are poor. They don't eat all their food right away. They'll eat a little bit first, and then they'll save the bigger part for later. The smaller part we put right back into our Seder plate. And the other part, the bigger part, goes to our afikomen. Magid. It's time to tell the story of Pesach. Everyone has beautiful Haggadah to look inside. Hopefully you have one that has a lot of pictures so you can follow along. There's lots of reading to do, I know, and it is probably the longest part of our Seder. But I'm sure your parents will make it lots of fun for you and sing lots of songs and play lots of games. Rachza. Now it's time to eat. So everybody gets up and washes their hands for motzi. This time, we do make a bracha when we wash our hands. And don't forget to bring water for your Abba and your Ima. Motzi matzah. We have two things to do. First, we have to make hamotzi lechem min haaretz because we're eating matzah, and the bracha on matzah is hamotzi. But we also have a very special mitzvah to do. It is a mitzvah to eat matzah on Pesach. Every time we eat a piece of matzah, we're getting a mitzvah. On the first night of Pesach and the second night of Pesach, when the mitzvah is so brand new, we make a special bracha, Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu, who made us special with his mitzvot and commanded us, al achilas matzah, on eating the matzah. And then we have to eat our matzah. And it's going to be so yummy. You haven't eaten Pesach matzah in a long, long time. When we eat our matzah, and when we eat our karpas, and when we drink our cups of wine, we lean to the left. We lean because we are free, and we are so grateful to Hashem that He has taken us out of Mitzrayim, and He has made us His people. The next thing we need to do is we need to eat maror. Because at the same time that we are so grateful for coming out of Mitzrayim, we have to remember that it was pretty bitter when we were in Mitzrayim. Maror is very bitter. We don't make a bracha on it, borei peri ha'adama, even though it grows in the ground. But we made it already on our when. Do you remember? Who remembers? Karpas. When we made the bracha on the karpas, we thought about the maror. But now we have a special mitzvah to eat maror. And what happens when we have a mitzvah? We make a bracha first. So the bracha that we make is Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu al achilas maror. Now let me ask you, do we lean when we eat maror? Is maror a sign of cherus, of freedom? Or is maror a sign of avdus, slavery? What do you think? I think it's a sign of avdus, slavery. So when we eat our maror, we're going to be very straight. We're not going to lean. Now, our maror is going to be dipped into a very special mixture. That mixture is called charoset. You know what charoset is? It's made out of apples and nuts and wine, sometimes raisins, sometimes dates, sometimes cinnamon. And the mixture, when we put it all together, it looks kind of brownish, reddish, just like the cement that the Bnei Yisrael used when they had to build the cities in Mitzrayim. So the maror is the hard work, and the charoset is the cement. And we dip it into the charoset, and then we make our bracha. Now we have korech. Do you know that on Pesach we eat a sandwich? Is it chametz? No. This is a special Pesach sandwich. Because if we had the Beit HaMikdash today, we would be in Yerushalayim. We would eat our matzah and our maror together with the Korban Pesach with delicious roasted lamb. But today, we're sad. We don't have our Beit HaMikdash, but we are going to do something similar. We're going to have our matzah and our maror, and we're going to remember the Korban Pesach because we don't have it today. And we are going to eat it together just like we would have eaten it in the Beit HaMikdash. And we daven that Im Yirtzeh Hashem, next year, we will be able to eat it together in the Beit HaMikdash. Pesach, matzah, and maror. And you know what, Marahone? May be wrong. It could be that we could eat it this year. Pesach isn't here yet. So, we'll see. Im Yirtzeh Hashem.